The Manosphere. Everybody's making these videos on the impact on the election of the Manosphere, and some of these videos are terrible. Do we need a Joe Rogan? No, the guy is awful. This whole internet influencer thing smacks of guruism, and it's like a miniature cult, you know. It seems we have the dumbest cults in human history. You know, the ancient Romans, they had cool ones. But don't worry, you won't have to follow me. Only you can rescue you. I don't present myself as a role model, though I try to practice free-thinking individualism without being a contrarian. But it seems very much out of style, as does the truth itself these days. It does appear that the right wing's closed-loop thought reform machine and online propaganda goons has had a huge impact on the latest election. 18 to 29-year-old males. Biden had an 18-point advantage in the 2020 election, but Trump got these 18 to 29-year-olds by 18 points. That's a 36-point swing by my math. Big problem, not easily solved. The right-wing media has been very dominant since the 80s, when one side has all the money, all the think tanks, all the multinational corporations. It's very difficult to get a word in edgewise. It has all the power-hungry, autistic billionaires who own the platforms, and in some cases, they're radicalized by their own platform. That's how childlike they are. Fox News has one propaganda goal, and they do it pretty well. And in some cases, like One American News Channel, it was founded by AT&T. So it's a fascist network set up by the same people who bring us cell phones. It's crazy. When the internet started in the 90s, sure, we leftists had thought we'd get a more even playing field in the ecological world of ideas. But it was very quickly bought up, commercialized, corporatized, and now they control all of it, including the algorithms behind the scenes. We just don't even know how much power they have over it. I know I've been shadow banned. When I first had my website back in the 90s, an award-winning atheist site, by the way, we had more optimism, but that was quickly crushed. Shoe on Head's groundbreaking videos on male loneliness and why young men are turning to the right are brilliant, and everybody knows they're brilliant now. She's like a prophetess of the internet, and some of the best pieces on the Manosphere are, oddly enough, by women. I love Shoe on Head, and Colonel Kurtz is brilliant, and I don't watch hardly any real Manosphere content unless it's philosophy tube, but it's rarely political, and that's definitely not the Manosphere. I watch a ton of autism content on YouTube, and it's wonderfully individualistic and free thinking and mostly female. And I can see some people, I don't go to TikTok, but some people say it's easy over there to turn guys to the right by just pointing out the excesses of feminism, the double standards, the false allegations. You know, Johnny Depp, Marilyn Manson. Most men, in fact, in their 20s have probably already experienced that for themselves. Now, obviously, the incel manosphere is filled with suffering autistic males, and they need help. Most of them are autistic. There's been studies. You have to have zero theory of mind to believe that simplistic worldview they've got over there, and they're in major depression and they need help. But trust me, it's very hard to help anyone that has very limited theory of mind and or pathological demand avoidance. Trust me. Much of the Manosphere specific content we're talking about here, especially the political stuff, it has a really aggressive tone for some reason. It doesn't appeal to me. It wouldn't appeal to me anyway, but it has this really macho, aggressive tone. I prefer a detached, intellectual style, maybe humor, but it definitely is working, or they wouldn't do it. And I think that has something to do with the nature of right-wing authoritarian personalities it's aimed at. See, standard right-wing authoritarian personalities are essentially scared and submissive, and they want to conform to authority, and they're just looking for authority. They need to connect with their right-wing authoritarian dominators to lead them, or else they aren't going nowhere. They're going to do nothing. Now, Trump showed up using the same racist dog whistles that have fueled the Republican Party since Nixon. But he had something more. He speaks at a third grade level like anybody with an IQ of 73. The bottom half of the intelligence bell curve was energized by this. For the first time, they felt they understood geopolitical issues after a lifetime of being shut out by not having the vocabulary to engage with it or understand it. He makes them feel seen, empowered, and strong. At a certain level, they know he's not much smarter than they are, but there he is, a big shot. But, they ain't got his daddy's money, and they don't seem to understand that they can't be him. They don't care what he does or what he says. They identify with him. The Republican Party at this point is nothing more than an unholy alliance of right-wing authoritarian followers, their social dominator right-wing leaders, racists, the rich who don't want to pay taxes, and the lowest IQs in North America. And it really is sad. Avoiding issues by running on culture war nonsense that they pulled out of their ass. So a very long, festering, and hard problem to solve indeed. It's really the online management, just one part of this larger problem. But the moneyed forces are the problem, whether it's television or the web, it's all one thing. Where right-wing propagandists have all the money, all the platforms, and all the algorithms, and own all the politicians. And the male loneliness epidemic, also a big problem. I myself, being autistic, kind of transcended loneliness and went straight to alienation. I don't enjoy socializing. I feel misunderstood, overwhelmed. I prefer to limit social exposure. That's probably why I prefer that detached, rationalistic attitude in my geopolitical content and not a lot of social emotion, because I'm just not set up to receive those signals. That aggressive thing, again, just don't work for me at all. But, I have a few friends and family that I love, so I can't quite make that I don't have any friends video. And my friends don't have to agree with me about everything. Again, I'm an individualist, not an authoritarian. Though the right wing is very authoritarian at this point. One thing is for sure, when you call out the bullshit, it's not going to make you popular with the group thinkers, the herd, the authoritarian right-wing followers. I don't think that these Philistines have ever really understood the critical thinkers, but now they are militantly arrogant in their simplistic ideas because their Papa Trump says they're right. Sometimes they hate you for having a nuanced and well-read opinion at all. It is really just pure, vile anti-intellectualism at this point, which is the actual real religion of America, as Isaac Asimov pointed out. Konnichiwa.